There we go. So now we're going into part 3, I believe. Actually, I need to plug in my phone. There we go. That was a beautiful noise right there. Dun, dun, dun. I believe there's iron ore in this place too. But either way, I'm going to sneak with my bow. To my left. Oops, it's a dog. Alright. Empty, empty. There's a guy on my left, but... Oops. Oh, wow. What was I thinking there? There we go. Put my bow away. Search him. Take all these arrows. Take all this. Take all this. Alright, I don't think this place has iron ore. This might be the place where you get the Beacon of Meridia. Or one of the places, I should say. Oh, yeah.
Told him to just hand over the gold. Did he listen? Huh?
And the banded chief should be right back there.
What was that?
Time to end this little game.
Oh no.
Belly like an old woman's purse.
Like an old woman's purse. Well then.
That it? That your best? You're as good as dead.
I should heal up a little bit. Staggered.
Pay for that. That your best?
Alright.
We are routed.
Done.
Fall back.
Oof. It's weird that that person was easier than the bandit outlaw. Oh no, what did I just do? Dang it. I have to drop one of those, drop that. There. Ah, there we go. That. Harvest the white caps. Garnet, oak flesh, treasure map. Alright. And helmet of illusion along with robes of restoration. And I will activate the bear trap. I believe there's a book over here. Isn't there? Am I thinking of a different place, or is it on the thing over here? Ah, there we go. Sneak. Nice. Alright, and I believe that's all there is to this place. Let's harvest some more alchemy ingredients while we're here. Alright, imp stool, blister word. There we go. And now we can leave. Alright. We're on a good roll here. Got a few levels already. Let's harvest this stuff. Hopefully the next place we go to has a good supply of maybe some iron ore or something, so we can level up our smithing. Let's see. Where do we go to next? I'm thinking head more towards Rorikstead, but a little northwest. I think that's the direction we'll be going in. Yeah, I think we'll go like this direction. So let's put on the bow, sneak, and try to get one of these. Oh, yes, got one. Alright, good. Alright, now I don't think I can get the other ones. That's good. I need that leather for smithing. I actually got it this time. Oh, there's another one. Actually, I think I could get the elk. No, it's too low. Is that too high or something? Oh well. Missed one. That sucks. Alright, so we're heading towards Drellis's cottage, which I'm not quite sure if that's a good idea or not right now. Actually, quick save. Because I think there's a troll here. Either that or a saber cat. Or is it a bear at this level? Is it empty here? Nope, there it is. That was too low. Got him. Oh no. This is gonna be difficult. Ooh. Ooh, this is gonna be difficult. Alright. So first things first, put another perk into heavy armor. I'm gonna put a perk into one-handed. Oh no, I need to use some potions. There, got it. Nice. Got the pelt and tooth. Nice. Like getting those extra pelts every now and then. And got one from him too. Nice. I don't know if I'm gonna do pickpocket or not. I've never really done it that much. Seems interesting though. Oops. That was bad. There we go. Focus level maximum. I've got an orcish mace at this level. Alright. I'm down. Argonian account, book 2. I'm gonna read this for you. Decimus Scotti emerged from the dirt and reeds, exhausted from running, his face and arms sheathed in red flesh flies. Looking back towards Cyrodiil, he saw the bridge disappear beneath the thick black river, and he knew he was not getting back until the tide went down in a few days' time. The river also held in its adhesive depths his files on the Black Marsh account. He would have to rely on his memory for his contacts in Gideon. Malik was purposefully striding through the reeds ahead, flailing ineffectually at the flesh flies. Scotty hurried after him. "We're lucky, sir," said the Red Guard. Oh, it's a Red Guard. "We're lucky, sir," said the Red Guard, which struck Scotty as an extraordinarily odd thing to say, until his eyes followed where the man's finger was pointing. "The caravan is here." 21 rusted, mud-spattered wagons, with rotting wood and wobbly wheels, sat half-sunk in the soft earth ahead. A crowd of Argonians, gray-scaled and gray-eyed, the sort of sullen manual laborers that were common in Cyrodiil, pulled at one of the wagons which had been attached from the others. As Scotty and Malik came closer, they saw it was filled with a cargo of blackberries so decayed that they had become hardly recognizable. More a festering jelly than a wagon load of fruit. Yes, they were going to the city of Gideon, and yes, they said, Scotty could get a ride with them after they were finished unloading this shipment of lumberries. How long ago were they picked? Scotty asked, looking at the wagon's rotten produce. The harvest was in last seed, of course, said the Argonian, who seemed to be in charge of the wagon. It was now sun's dusk, so they had been en route from the fields for little over 2 months. Clearly, Scotty thought, there were problems with transportation, but fixing that, after all, was what he was doing here as representative of Lord Vannock's building commission. It took close to an hour of the berries rotting even more in the sun for the wagon to be pushed to the side, the wagons in front of it and behind it to be attached to one another, and one of the 8 horses from the front of the caravan to be brought around to the now independent wagon. The laborers moved with dispirited lethargy, and Scotty took the opportunity to inspect the rest of the caravan and talk to his fellow travelers. 4 of the wagons had benches in them, fit for uncomfortable riders. All the rest were filled with grain, meat, and vegetation in various stages of corruption. The travelers consisted of the 6 Argonian laborers, 3 Imperial merchants so bug-bitten that their skin looked as scaly as the Argonians themselves, and 3 cloaked fellows who were evidently Dunmer, judging by the red eyes that gleamed in the shadows under their hoods. All were transporting their goods along the Imperial Commerce Road. "This is a road?" Scotty exclaimed, looking at the endless field of reeds that reached up to his chin or higher. "It's a solid ground of sort." One of the hooded Dunmer shrugged. "The horses eat some of the reed, and sometimes we set fire to it, but it just grows right back up." Finally, the wagon master signaled that the caravan was ready to go, and Scotty took a seat in the 3rd wagon with the other Imperials. He looked around, but Malek was not on board. "I agreed to get you to Black Marsh and take you back out," said the Red Guard, who had plumped down a rock in the sea of reeds and was munching on a hairy carrot. "I'll be here when you get back." Sati frowned, and not only because Malek had dropped the deferential title Sir while addressing him. Now he truly knew no one in Black Marsh, but the caravan slowly grinded and bumped forward, so there was no time to argue. A noxious wind blew across the Commerce Road, casting patterns in the endless featureless expanse of reeds. In the distance, there seemed to be mountains, but they constantly shifted, and Sati realized they were banks of mist and fog. Shadows flitted across the landscape, and when Scotty looked up, he saw that they were being cast by giant birds with long, saw-like beaks nearly the size of the rest of their bodies. "Hackwings," Cherogemulus, an Imperial on Scotty's left, who might have been young but looked old and beaten, muttered. "Like everything else in this place, in this damnable place, they'll eat you if you don't keep moving. Beggars pounce down and give you a nasty chop, and then fly off and come back when you're mostly dead from blood loss." Scotty shivered. He hoped they'd be in Gideon before nightfall. It was then it occurred to him that the sun was on the wrong side of the caravan. "Excuse me, sir," Scotty called to the wagon master. "I thought you said we were going to Gideon." The wagon master nodded. "Why are we going north then, when we should be going south?" There was no reply but a sigh. Scotty confirmed that his fellow travelers that they too were going to Gideon, and none of them seemed very concerned about the circuitous route to getting there. Circuitous, I should say. The seats were hard on his middle-aged back and buttocks, but the bumping rhythm of the caravan and the hypnotic waving reeds gradually had an effect on him, and Scotty drifted off to sleep. He awoke in the dark some hours later, not sure where he was. The caravan was no longer moving, and he was on the floor, under the bench, next to some small boxes. There were voices, speaking a hissing, clicking language Scotty didn't understand, and he peeked out between someone's legs to see what was happening. The moons barely pierced the thick mist surrounding the caravan, and Scotty did not have the best angle to see who was talking. For a moment it looked like the grey wagon master was talking to himself, but the darkness had movement and moisture. In fact, glistening scales. It was hard to tell how many of these things there were, but they were big black, and the more Scotty looked at them, the more details he could see. One particular detail emerged. Huge mouths filled with dripping needle-like fangs. Scotty slid back under the bench. Their black little eyes had not fallen on him yet. The legs in front of Scotty moved and then began to thrash, as their owner was grabbed and pulled out of the wagon. Scotty crouched further back, getting behind the little boxes. He didn't know much about concealment, but he had some experience with shields. He knew that having something, anything, in between you and bad things was always good. A few seconds after the legs had disappeared from sight, there was a horrible scream. And then, a second and a third. Different timbres, different accents, but the same inarticulate message. Terror and pain. Horrible pain. Scotty remembered a long-forgotten prayer to the god Stendar and whispered it to himself. Then there was silence. Ghastly silence that lasted only a few minutes, but which seemed like hours. Years. And then the carriage started rolling forward again. Scotty cautiously crawled out from under the carriage. Cherogemulus gave him a bemused grin. "There you are," he said. "I thought the Nagas took you." Nagas? Nasty characters, Gemulus said, frowning. Puff adders with legs and arms, 7 feet tall, 8 when they're mad. Came from the inner swamp, and they don't like it here much, so they're particularly peevish. You're the kind of posh imperial they're looking for. Scotty had never in his life thought himself as posh. His mud and flesh-fly bespeckled clothing seemed eminently middle-class at best to him. What would they want me for? To rob, of course, the Imperial smiled. And to kill. You didn't notice what happened to the others? The Imperial frowned, as if struck by a thought. You didn't sample from those boxes down below, did you? Like the sugar? Do you? Gods, no, Scotty grimaced. The Imperial nodded, relieved. You just seem a little slow. First time to Black Marsh, I gather? Oh, hi-ho! Hist piss. Scotty was just about to ask Gemulus what that vulgar term meant when the rain began. It was an inferno of foul-smelling yellow-brown rain that washed over the caravan, accompanied by the growl of thunder in the distance. Gemulus worked to pull the roof up over the wagon, glaring at Scotty until he helped with the laborious process. He shuddered, not only from the cold damp, but from contemplation of the disgusting precipitation pouring down on the already nasty produce in the uncovered wagon. We'll be dry soon enough, Gemulus smiled, pointing out into the fog. Scotty had never been to Gideon, but he knew what to expect. A large settlement more or less laid out like an imperial city, with more or less imperial style architecture, and all the imperial comforts and traditions, more or less. The jumble of huts half sunk in mud was decidedly less. Where are we? Asked Scotty, bewildered. Hixanog, replied Gemulus, pronouncing the queer name with confidence. You are right. We were going north when we should have been going south.